Welcome back to the Lincoln-Douglas debate series on history with Herodotus. As we delve into the legacy of these debates, we'll examine how they contributed to Lincoln's presidential victory in 1860, and the unexpected turn of events that saw Douglas, once a fierce competitor, become an unlikely supporter of Lincoln during the secession crisis. The year 1860 was a watershed moment in American history. The debates, which had taken place 2 years prior, had catapulted Lincoln to national prominence, showcasing his exceptional oratory skills and his commitment to stopping the spread of slavery. As the presidential election approached, Lincoln's popularity soared, and on November 6, 1860, he won the presidency with 180 electoral votes, carrying all the northern states. The debates had played a significant role in this victory, as they had humanized Lincoln and made him a more relatable figure to the American people. For instance, during the debates, Lincoln's folksy humor and down-to-earth approach resonated with voters, who saw him as a breath of fresh air compared to the more polished but less relatable Douglas. As Lincoln's campaign gained momentum, his Republican Party platform, which opposed the expansion of slavery, became a rallying cry for Northern voters. The debates had helped to clarify the differences between Lincoln and Douglas on this issue, with Lincoln advocating for a stronger federal role in limiting slavery's spread. This stance not only endeared him to abolitionists, but also to moderate Northerners who were increasingly uneasy about the institution of slavery. On the other hand, Douglas's advocacy for popular sovereignty, which allowed new states to decide for themselves whether to allow slavery, was seen as too soft on the issue by many in the North. As the secession crisis deepened, Douglas, despite being a Democrat from Illinois, found himself at odds with his own party over the issue of slavery. In a surprising turn of events, he became one of Lincoln's most ardent supporters, urging his fellow Democrats to stand behind the newly elected president. On December 25, 1860, Douglas wrote to Lincoln, offering his assistance in navigating the treacherous waters of secession. This unlikely alliance would prove crucial in the months that followed, as the country teetered on the brink of civil war. For example, when Southern states began to secede from the Union, Douglas used his influence to try to persuade border states like Kentucky and Missouri to remain loyal to the federal government. The Civil War, which began on April 12, 1861, when Confederate forces fired on Union troops at Fort Sumter, would ultimately resolve the questions that had been debated by Lincoln and Douglas. The war would rage on for 4 years, claiming the lives of over 600,000 Americans and leaving the nation scarred. However, it would also lead to the abolition of slavery, a cause that Lincoln had championed throughout his career. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by Lincoln in 1863, declared all slaves in Confederate territory to be free, paving the way for the eventual passage of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which abolished slavery altogether. The debates between Lincoln and Douglas had laid the foundation for this momentous shift in American history. They had brought the issue of slavery to the forefront of national consciousness, forcing Americans to confront the moral implications of owning human beings as property. The debates had also established a new standard for political discourse in America, one that emphasized the importance of thoughtful argumentation and respectful disagreement. As the nation struggled to come to terms with the aftermath of the Civil War, the legacy of the Lincoln-Douglas debates would continue to shape American politics, inspiring future generations of leaders to engage in constructive dialogue and to strive for a more perfect union. The impact of the debates can be seen in the way they influenced the development of American political discourse. The debates had shown that politics could be a noble pursuit, one that required intelligence, compassion, and a commitment to the common good. They had also demonstrated the importance of listening to opposing viewpoints and engaging with critics in a respectful and open-minded manner. As the nation moved forward, these values would become essential components of American democracy, shaping the way politicians interacted with each other and with the public. In conclusion, the legacy of the Lincoln-Douglas debates is a testament to the power of ideas and the importance of thoughtful dialogue in shaping American history. The debates had contributed to Lincoln's presidential victory, influenced Douglas's support for Lincoln during the secession crisis, and laid the foundation for the Civil War and its aftermath. As we reflect on this pivotal moment in American history, we are reminded of the enduring significance of the values that Lincoln and Douglas embodied, a commitment to freedom, equality, and the principles of democracy. That's all for today. Join us next time on History with Herodotus as we continue our fascinating series on the Lincoln-Douglas debates.